Okay, that being said, this piece is not from Boy, Girl, but I don't care. Maybe if I do it enough, it'll be indoctrinated into the canon. He says he wants to see you. You're kind of on the fence about whether or not you want to see him. You've both had time away from one another, time to grow up a little, or at least you have had time to grow up a little. You're not so sure about him. And honestly, you have things to do that afternoon, like buying a party dress. But when he says, I want to see you, in that way he has of talking, that way he has of making it sound like you're the only two people left on Earth, and quite possibly a meteor or a comet or a tidal wave is about to crash down on you, that end-of-the-world blockbuster movie way he has of talking, you are of two minds. One mind is going, really, this again? But the other mind that still buys into the drama of the thing, that mind is going, bloopity-bloopity-bloopity-bloop. Fuck that other mind, but there you have it. Because no matter how much liberal arts college you have had, no matter how many women's studies courses, you still love some boy attention. So yes, you will see him. And actually, would he mind going with you to Jordan Marsh because you have to buy a dress for this party thing? And god damn it, if he doesn't do exactly what you are betting/hoping he will do, which is to glow and melt like a chocolate ice cream cone on a hot plate. So you see him. You drive to Jordan Marsh in his car with the new U2 album on the cassette deck, and for a while it's not so bad. You're actually friends. I mean, acting like friends do. You say you love Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses, and he makes fun of you and says Bono is ridiculous, which looking back now you see just how true that was, especially considering that the next thing to come down the YouTube pike is Zooropa, and all of a sudden Bono is some sort of touch my monkey space-age German sex robot or something, and then Michael Stipe follows suit, except he's a space-age German sex robot crossed with an overweight Catholic schoolgirl crossed with a garbage truck or something, and it's all very weird and conceptual and noisy and unfortunate. Point being, you are ribbing each other good-naturedly like actual friends, and everything is fine.
We crossed the line, we pushed it over. It doesn't matter to you, it matters to me. We cut adrift, but still floating. I'm only hanging on to watch you go down, my love.
So you get to the mall, and he follows you around Jordan Marsh until you find a dress that well, let's just say that you wish you could still wear shit like this and get away with it, and at the same time you are thankful that you cannot wear shit like this ever again, because it is a short, tight lycra number that in 1992 looks great, but if you were to see a photo of yourself in this dress now, you might think, wow, that is weird and conceptual and noisy and unfortunate. But back in 1992, it has the effect that you think/hope it will, which is that you step out of the dressing room and you do a couple of turns and he is just gagging over there. You cannot help but drink it in. You are such a bad person. Over time, you will work very hard to turn into not such a bad person, but right now, let's face it, you are a bad, not nice person. You are willfully leading this guy around by the nose, even though you are pretty sure that you don't want anything from him. You are perverse and bad and an attention black hole. But also, you're pretty sure that the main reason you are leading him around is that he is so easy to lead around. He's practically given you a leash and a collar, and that collar has a little heart-shaped tin tag on it with his name and number in case he gets lost, and woo boy is he lost. This still makes you a bad person. But also, and here's where you might be a little insightful instead of just a bad person, also, he is full of shit. You have had some time away enough to understand that he doesn't know the first thing about love or you or loving you, and that his concept of your relationship is as substantial as a heart-shaped Mylar balloon. So even though there is the attention thing, which you will seriously need to address and remedy sometime in the future, or at least find a better outlet for, like solo performance monologuing, really, when it comes down to it, it is just kind of hilarious and meaningless. And you are not so much the object of his affection. No, wait, that is exactly what you are. You are an interchangeable, chintzy object that he is affectionate at. And if he's not going to cut the crap, then why should you?
I disappeared in you. You disappeared from me. I gave you everything you ever wanted. It wasn't what you wanted. The men who love you, you hate the most. They pass right through you like a ghost. They look for you, but your spirit is in the air. Baby, you're nowhere.
So you buy the dress, and you leave the store, and you get in his car, and you head home. And it's suddenly quieter than it was on the ride over, even with Octone Baby still chugging on the cassette deck. And then you realize that you're lost. Not metaphorically, you are actually spatially lost. He is driving around on a maze of side streets that you've never been down before, having only ever taken main roads to the mall, which incidentally is no longer there, and this makes your heart break even a little now, because it was this wonderful old 1950s open-air bi-level relic with a Filene's at one end and a Jordan Marsh at the other, and a courtyard with a 24-foot wooden replica of a tin soldier from the Nutcracker all year round, not just at Christmas. And it also had this sketchy little shop called the House of Zodiac that reeked of incense and sold tarot cards and crystals, and had a rotating glass display case full of pewter figurines, fantasy figurines, like a rearing unicorn with a cubic zirconia clutched between its front hooves. Not that you ever known anyone who ever bought any one of those, ever. So you're driving around and around on these windy little dead-ending side streets, and when you finally gently venture to tease him about whether or not he knows where the heck he's going, he slams on the brakes and the car squeals to a stop. A gesture that would be far more dramatic if the car wasn't a beige Datsun, but it's a little startling nonetheless. He slams the car into park, and he bends his head over the steering wheel, and he rests both hands on the dashboard. And you're about to ask if he feels all right when he sighs long and loud and twists to face you. Again, a gesture that would be far more dramatic if he didn't get hampered by the seatbelt in mid-twist and have to pause to unbuckle. He faces you, and he looks you hard in the eyes, and he says, "At school, there are 3 photographs on my wall. One is of Gussie, one is of Mary, and one is of you." A quick footnote here. Gussie and Mary are girls who attend the same summer drama camp that the two of you have gone to together since you were about 12, which, if you think about it, really is the only context one needs to fully understand this story. So he looks you hard in the eyes and he says, "At school, there are 2 photographs on my wall. One is of Gussie, one is of Mary, and one is of you. And when people visit my room, they look at the pictures and they say, 'Who's that?' And I say, 'That's Gussie. She's my best friend from drama camp.' And then they say, 'Who's that?' And I say, 'That's Mary. She's my best friend from high school.' And then they say, 'Who's that?' And I say, 'That's Rachel. That's the girl I'm gonna marry.'" You don't mean to bust out laughing. Although, since it has been established that you are a bad person, part of you probably does mean to bust out laughing. Regardless, you bust out laughing, and his face falls, and he bangs the steering wheel with the flat of his hand, and he turns to glower out the driver's side window. You cannot and will not feel bad about this. You still don't. Because there's a part of you, and probably a part of him, that knows he's not that upset. None of this is real. Even if you'd done what he thought he wanted you to do, if you squealed with delight and flung your arms around his neck and wet his cheek with your happy tears, even if you'd done that, it wouldn't have been real. It would have been the next scene in the movie in his head, the one where you agree to marry him and the soundtrack surges triumphantly, and as your lips touch, the sun blazes hard through the windshield, creating a holy nimbus around your heads, fade to black, or no, better, fade to white, as blank as your future together. No need to write another scene. There isn't another scene as far as he's concerned. As far as he's concerned, this whole thing is a series of perfect images strung prettily together with excellent cinematography. And as much as you like experimental filmmaking, liberal arts college after all, you are starting to see that you prefer a story with a discernible arc and three-dimensional characters. So you sit there, saying nothing, listening to the final hollow clangings of Love is Blindness. Eventually, he jerks the car back into drive and starts navigating back to the main road. It's weird, but you both suddenly know exactly where you're going.
Ooh, love. They say in love there are no rules. Ooh, love, sweetheart, you're so cruel. Oh, love, to stay with you I'd be a fool. Oh, you're so cruel.
Thank you.